Activists now planning to protest outside of Justice Samuel Alito's house after a weekend of outrage over the leaked Supreme Court opinion on Roe.
This is you don't get to take away our bodily autonomy and enjoy your Saturday night at home. You get to do one or the other.
And what does it mean to you to be marching to the justices' homes?
This is personal, so we're going to take it to the personal space.
Okay.
They did this, not us.
The Daily Signal news producer and podcast co-host Douglas Blair is following the protests there on the ground, and he joins us now. Good morning to you, Douglas.
Good morning, Ainsley. How are you doing?
Good morning. Doing well. Was that you asking the lady the questions? And what did you see at these protests?
I mean, what I saw outside of these justices' homes was nothing short of horrifying. It really tells you a lot that we've gotten to the point in this country where protesters feel they can go to somebody's private residence, scream and yell and try to intimidate them into voting the way that they want them to do. And for a cause like abortion, where on the pro-life side, we've acknowledged time and again that this is not just a clump of cells, it's not a parasite, as some of these protesters were saying, it is a human being. It is a human life.
Did you see a difference when you went to Kavanaugh's house and then went to John Roberts' house?
That was the scariest thing to me, that the energy, you could just feel it, was palpably different when Kavanaugh came up. They were yelling, they were screaming. And look, I mean, this is an attempt at intimidation. And I think it really says a lot, too, that the Biden administration is willing to absolutely let these justices out to dry. They're not going to say it's not acceptable for you to go to somebody's house and yell and scream. That's not how we do it in this country.
Did you say that you saw Kavanaugh? He came out of his house?
I did not see Justice Kavanaugh. My hope is that he wasn't home. My hope is that he was safe with his family somewhere else, because it was genuinely one of the scariest things I've ever witnessed, watching these people yell and scream and try and change the vote of what is most possibly the most important vote in the history of this country, the right to, live your life and to have a human being survive in the womb.
Look at this. They're drawing coat hangers on the streets. I mean, this just says that the abortion would go back to states. States would decide. It doesn't say no more abortions. We had Mark Levin on last week, and he said if you want to get an abortion, you still can. You might have to drive to another state, but you'll still be able to. And according to the New York Post this morning, it says it's illegal to protest at a justice's house if it's to try to influence the outcome. Do you know any more about that?
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's entirely right. And even whether or not it's illegal is sort of irrelevant here. It's the morality of the thing. The fact that they've decided that it's now acceptable to intimidate a justice into getting what they want just shows how deranged and out of touch with the American people the radical left is. The fact that we can have this conversation between us and we can discuss, hey, maybe it's going to go back to the states, maybe not. That's acceptable. It's unacceptable to go to somebody's house, to yell and to scream and to scare them into submission.
Douglas, what did the police say? Because we saw some images that looked like police were on the sidewalk.
I was confident for a moment that they were going to start arresting people. It seemed like the police had things under control. And I will tell you this, the fact that these radical protesters fled the scene the second that a massive police presence came on was so telling to me, because they're scared. They know that the American people are on the side of life. We are cultivating a culture of life in this country. And the fact that they knew that the police were going to come and they were going to basically make it so they couldn't, yell and scream in front of the justices' houses anymore, that indicates to me that we're going to win this issue and we're going to win the fight for life.
Douglas, thanks so much for coming on with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.